Hi, I'm Steve Selig, the founder of fit.test. This video is on pre-participation screening before you program a new client for exercise participation. So why is it important to pre-screen? Well, there's a very small increase in risk of sudden cardiac death during exercise compared to rest. But fit people are at lower risk of dying early or being chronically ill compared to unfit people. The very small increased risk of sudden death during exercise is outweighed by the reduced risk for the rest of the day, quote unquote, and this is sometimes known as the exercise paradox. So it is important to know if people are likely to be at increased risk during exercise, and this is the basis of pre-participation screening and is the topic of this video. So the American College of Sports Medicine recently updated their guidelines for pre-participation screening, and a big change in the new ACSM guidelines was to move away from counting the numbers of risk factors, such as high cholesterol or high blood pressure, and instead collect more relevant information related to exercise itself. So the ACSM decision-making framework is now based on each individual's current level of physical activity, their desired exercise intensities for their exercise program, and whether they have any signs or symptoms, especially related to exercise, and also any known disease, chronic disease, such as in cardiovascular, metabolic, for example, diabetes, and also kidney disease. We published recently a pre-screening tool for Exercise and Sports Science Australia here in Australia. And this is based on a clinical reasoning model for the clinical exercise professionals, but also gives tools for the non-clinical exercise professionals, as I will outline in summarising this flowchart on the left here. Now, just to give a bit of terminology first, ESSA is Exercise and Sports Science Australia. AEP is an accredited exercise physiologist as accredited by ESSA. PT represent physiotherapists or physical therapists in other parts of the world. AES is an ESSA accredited exercise scientist. Now we come to the screening tools. The first one, APSS, is the Adult Pre-Exercise Screening System, which was jointly published by Exercise and Sports Science Australia, Sports Medicine Australia, and Fitness Australia. And I've given the link to that tool here. And finally, PARQ, which is a Canadian originated tool, Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire, and I've given you the reference or the link for that tool as well. Now, to come back to the flowchart itself, the top line shows who are the referrers. So for the clinical stream here on the left, which is going through the accredited exercise physiologist and the physiotherapist, these can be referrals from a general practitioner, the primary care medical practitioner, or a medical specialist, and going through these clinical exercise physiologists who will base their screening on clinical reasoning and their assessments of their clients, but may also want to use one of the published pre-screening tools, such as the APSS. Then during those that clinical reasoning and assessment phase, if there are adverse signs or symptoms related to exercise, then usually this will require a back referral back to the originating medical practitioner, the referring practitioner. But if there are no adverse signs or symptoms, that client is safe to commence exercise or continue exercise if they're already exercising. Now, for the exercise scientist or the personal trainer who can get referrals through other means, for example, a personal trainer may receive self-referrals, they need to rely on pre-exercise screening tools because they don't have the clinical knowledge to provide a clinical reasoning service. So they would use the tools, and then do any of these tools indicate that guidance is needed on the safety of exercise from either a clinical exercise professional or back to the referring primary care medical practitioner. So if that is indicated, they will loop backwards. If not, they would then be safe to commence or continue exercise. So, and what this scheme allows also is continuous monitoring. So once someone has commenced, if adverse signs or symptoms appear at some point in the future, then this scheme here has a method for then referring them back to the primary care medical practitioner for further advice before they either resume or suspend exercise before further medical interventions are introduced. So this is a pretty simple scheme that covers lots of exercise professionals, certainly all the exercise professionals who would access my software on myfitness.com.au. And the reference for this screening model is at the bottom of the page. Now, this just gives a little bit of a summary of the very first page of the adult pre-exercise screening system, as jointly published by Exercise and Sports Science Australia, Sports Medicine Australia, and Fitness Australia, and the reference is given here on the right. So really it's just, this is just stage one that I've shown you here. That link on the right-hand side will allow you to download the whole screening tool. But for example, in stage one, the 6 questions that are asked is, has your medical practitioner ever told you that you have a heart condition or ever suffered a stroke? Have you ever experienced unexplained pains or discomfort in your chest during exercise or even at rest? Have you ever felt faint, dizzy or lose balance during exercise? Have you had an asthma attack requiring immediate medical attention at any time in the last 12 months? Do you have diabetes type 1 or type 2? Or do you have trouble controlling your blood sugar in the last 3 months? And do you have any other conditions that may require special consideration for you to exercise? And the next tool that I want to just quickly summarise is that produced by the PAR-Q, which is the Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire for Safe Exercise. And I've given you the link, and this is a Canadian tool, and it really asks some of the same questions and has some of the same elements as shared by the American College of Sports Medicine and also the Exercise and Sports Science Australia tool of the adult pre-screening system. So that's really all I wanted to discuss with you today. Thank you for your attention and have a great day. And although I haven't provided these tools within my website, myfitness.com.au, it's certainly by giving you this information, I've also written another article on pre-screening. You'll be able to get these references very easily and be able to download these tools very easily to be able to use these pre-screening tools. So have a great day and thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.